let's talk about wedge toes. This is one of the most standard toes that you will see in any beginner's knitting pattern that you're looking at. But there are several variations on it that you can do if you find that the standard does not fit you super well. The defining feature of a wedge toe is that you have 4 increases per round, and they're clustered on the sides here. This is the standard wedge, and what that means is I cast on 25% of my total stitch count, and then increased every other round. So for this, because my standard sock size for my feet is 64 stitches, that means that I cast on 16 stitches total. If you want a pointier look than compared to your standard wedge, you'll just cast on fewer stitches. In this case, I cast on 12.5% of my total stitch count. So I cast on 8 instead of the 16 in the standard. And then the exact opposite of the pointy, you have the blunt wedge, which is the same formula as the standard wedge again, increase every other round. But instead, you're going to cast on 50% of your stitch count. So I cast on 32 stitches and only increased up to 64. This is a pair of socks that I finished a few days ago. And this still has a wedge toe, but it is rounded. And what that means is you start with the same cast on number as the standard wedge, but instead of increasing every other round, you increase every single round until you have half of your stitch count, and then every other round until you reach your total stitch count. So in this case, that means I cast on 16, I increased every round until I had 32 stitches, and then I increased every other round until I had 64 stitches. So when you're working that wedge toe, just how many stitches you cast on can have a huge impact in the shape, and the rate of your increases also changes how things are shaped.